was fun.
Yeah. Are we on Facebook?
Yep.
Yep, we are.
Keep dragging that piano away.
There. Hey.
Okay.
Okay, a little bit of a glitch there at the first, just to get signed back in again, but we're up and running, I think. So, I think, yes, we are. Hey, everybody's
yep.
here.
I can't find you. I'll try again.
That's what it's like when you're live. Oh, well.
Oh, there you are. There you
Here I
are.
am. I'm right here. Yep. Okay, well, anyway, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to our Sunday night offering of Astronomy Outreach for April the 30th. Wow.
Wow. Is it
Astronomy
tomorrow?
show.
Tomorrow's the 1st of May.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Where did April go?
Yeah. Away.
May showers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope not too many.
My name is Chris Kerwin. I'm your host this evening and the creator of the social media channels known as Astronomy by the Bay. I'm an amateur astronomer and member of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada. A little bit trying to read here, yeah, because I'm a little bit off gear now. Anyway, what do you guys want to be the host? No. First of all, I'd like to introduce our two regular clowns here on the show. Paul Owen from the Moonshadow Observatory in Hampton. Paul, good evening.
Hello.
And our other regular co-host here on the program, Mr. Mike Powell from the POO Observatory in St. John. Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Okay. Well, on tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Astronomy Show, the night sky this past week came alive on Sunday night with the arrival of a CME from the sun, bringing with it billions of tons of charged particles that released their energy in a spectacular display of northern and southern lights. Now, many across North America had a chance to witness this display. What causes this? Where do we look for information about the next one? When it arrives, how can we best capture it? Our recent aurora will be the main topic of tonight's program. Now, also on tonight's show, Mike will offer another vinyl bud treasure to enjoy. Paul will provide us with another interesting Rosanna's fun fact. I'll have a quick look at what to watch for in this week's sky, a very quick look. And we'll have all of your wonderful photo submissions to share as well. So this is a family-friendly interactive live broadcast. So for those of you joining us from my YouTube channel or Facebook page, we are happy to try and answer all of your astronomy questions here in real time as well. And of course, we'd like to welcome back all of those who have been joining us through the local Rogers TV network. Thank you for your support. Squeaky chair and all. Okay, so let's get started then, guys, with tonight's program and look at the most recent aurora, how it's formed, where to watch for the next one, and how to capture it. And we're going to talk a little bit about our experience, the three of us, out in our little adventure as well. So,
Yeah.
okay, so Mike, you want to lead the way? I'm going to take a break.
I'm taking a break. So, where do we had an aurora? That's a fantastic thing. We went out, we enjoyed it that night. But where does it come from? What causes it? Like the sky doesn't light up by itself. Something has to make that happen. So there are actually a couple of things that can cause that to happen. And if I can just share my screen here, do we have permission yet? No.
Huh? Oh, hang on. We got a new session to open up. That's why.
There we go.
Right, try again. Try again.
Are we there yet?
We are.
Awesome. Share. Where'd the share button go? I lost the share button. There we are. This one. You see this picture?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So one of two things can cause auroras on the Earth. One of them is actually a coronal hole. And what that is, it's an opening in the surface of the sun, and it looks darker down inside because it's actually cooler than the outside of the sun. But that allows particles to be released out through that hole towards the Earth. And that's one way that we can get these auroras, from those particles, or as they call them, jets, that are coming out from a coronal hole. Let me see if I can close that one and bring up this one. The other one is a coronal mass ejection. Now, anybody that's looked through a solar scope before, you've seen solar flares or filaments, but they're kind of joined right around like a semicircle. And they're like an elastic band. And if that elastic band, for some reason, should snap or break, and it's facing the Earth, then you have what's called a coronal mass ejection, and large amounts of solar particles are released and can head towards the Earth. But it's almost like a a gun. They have to be aimed at the Earth for us to get it. Now, if it's off a little bit, the auroras can be less, but if it's right at us, the auroras can be immense. Sometimes they're completely miss us altogether and there's no aurora whatsoever. So how does that system work? Well, if I pull up this, I'll give you a quick view. You know, we've all looked up, seen sunspots and these filaments that break. And of course, again, they send these incoming solar particles towards the Earth. Well, we have this big magnetic field because we have a north and south pole, and it's they're magnetic poles. And so it's a big magnetic field that surrounds the Earth. These particles come along. Some of them will graze by and be deflected by the magnetic field around the Earth. Others will actually get sucked in. It's a magnet, and it'll suck them in, just like, you know, two magnets coming together, snap. And when they do, that's what pulls these particles in, and they excite the particles in the Earth's atmosphere, and that's what causes our aurora. Simple as that. There's these mass amounts of particles coming from the sun, and the ones that get sucked in and actually come into both poles. So we have the northern lights and the southern lights, and we end up with the aurora borealis, and that's it. The more intense that the particles are coming in, the more intense our auroras are going to be. And it's as simple as that. That's where they come from. So I go into a long explanation, but that's the plain and simple of it.
That does explain it.
If any of that made sense.
We were talking earlier, Mike, about the activity that we just had here in our part of the world, and actually in every part of the world, but we got to see more of it here. And I asked, I said, so if we got what we got here, and it was fantastic for us, you can imagine what they get at the North Pole.
Oh yeah.
Where they always have almost what we get here on a regular basis, but they've got that extra strength coming at them at there. I would have loved to have been up there to see that activity, because that would have been, I don't know, would have been
just, mind blowing.
Yeah.
So, Iceland is one of the places that actually promotes you to come vacation in Iceland and see the northern lights. You can imagine if they get it often enough that they can promote it, what it would be like during an intense storm like that. It would have been just mind blowing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You were saying that at that point, I don't know if you hear it or if you don't, but if there's all kinds of electronic or electrical patterns going on, and you know, must be some form of combustion of a sort.
Yeah.
I suppose you could probably hear it.
I was in the Alert Northwest Territories, and they say you can't hear it, but boy, I swear you can. If it's your imagination or not, it's almost like you can hear a buzz, and you can almost feel it, like it's you start getting shivers up your spine. I don't know if it's just cold or you're excited, but you can almost feel it and you can almost hear it. You swear you hear it, right? But they say you don't. It is what it is.
Indeed.
The good thing about, I mean, being in the technology world that we're in right now, I know that last week or the week before, I was offering the solar eclipse from Australia. You know, while I was watching the eclipse, there were birds outside, or peepers outside going like crazy, right? So here I am at nighttime, and I'm watching the solar eclipse on the other side of the world. So the good thing about, you know, where we are is that if there is another aurora, say this week or whatever, and we're clouded out like we're going to be this week, you know, we can still offer it in other locations. So I can imagine what if it wasn't for the fact that we were going out ourselves that night, I would have offered it a live feed, and there are several across Canada and in Iceland, like you say, a few places like that. Cameras online that you can go to. Just go to Aurora Live webcams, and it lists a whole bunch. And there's several of them that are really good. I've been watching them in the past.
Yeah,
you can always get them that way as well. And I'm sure the show would have been spectacular up there.
Oh yeah. But like you said, in today's world with the modern apps and stuff, the information's in the palm of your hand on when they're going to happen and how they're, you know, how intense they're going to be and everything else.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're becoming lazy. We just don't look anymore sometimes. But, you know, something that's worthwhile, you can even have these apps alert you that there's going to be, you know, some aurora coming. And I'm sure you have more information on that kind of stuff, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about that right now, actually. We lead right into that. Okay, so let me share my screen here first of all. And our conversation, which is here.
So that the word aura, that must be where it comes from. Aurora. So is it aura or aurora?
Aurora. Aurora.
Aurora.
Aurora
Aurora.
It's Aurora.
or aurora.
Okay.
I think a few
That
drinks
okay?
and you'd have a lot of fun with that word.
A dog must have barked that night and went, Aurora.
That's what we'll call it. Okay. A little bit about prediction sites and apps. Just a quick look. Here's our solar cycle so far. We're in around here now, and our cycle is picking up. We're almost the same as what we were, I guess, pretty well close to the last cycle. And they're expecting the intensity to increase. What I've read the last couple of days, anyway, even higher than it was last cycle. So all we're watching for is the number of sunspots, which really leads us into the higher part of the cycle. We're into 2025 before we get to our peak. Expected peak anyway. From there, of course, Mike talked a lot about the sun and what it releases. This is just a shot from SOHO, actually, spacecraft that's watching the sun on a continuous basis. One of the spacecraft, and there's a continuous release there. This is at solar maximum, one of the cycles of solar maximum. The sun rotates at many different speeds. It rotates at 25 days, every 25 days at the center at the equator, about 30 days partway up, and then 35 days at the top. So you can imagine the magnetic field of a world like that, or a sun like that, where the magnetic field gets all twisted up, and then that's what causes our sunspots. You can see the loops here of plasma running from one sunspot to the other. When those two loops basically short circuit or touch each other, they release that large amount of material we call a CME. Then that heads towards us, and as Mike mentioned, that's the result. So when we look at, we hear these numbers, though, we hear G and KP. So the G is the strength of the storm, and the KP is how far south can it be revealed or seen. So we had a KP of 8 the other night. So here's KP of 7. Anything above this line would be in KP of 7, and we were in 8, so we were getting a pretty intense show just in our particular area of the country, which is not common for us, of course, because you look at Alberta and other provinces out here, they're a lot farther north than we are. So for us to get them here was pretty unusual. So we had a G4, I believe, was our strength, and then a KP of 8 at our maximum after midnight that night. So that's what we talk about when we talk about the G level or the KP level, and we get that information from this site. This is an old image, but anyway, the idea here, the NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center, that's where I go to get my information, and that's where most of the apps go to get their information as well. So we can see here, a G1 would be a minor storm, a G2 would be a more moderate, and then G3 and up, you're getting into a stronger storm. And this is your KP numbers as well. So all of this data is here, updated continuously. And because there are people that are called space weather forecasters that go in here and monitor this and provide this information on a regular basis, because space weather is becoming very important. Elon Musk can tell you that with one of his SpaceX launches that he had just before Christmas, I believe it was, that he launched 60 satellites, and 55 of them or so came crashing back to Earth again because there was a solar storm. And when that happened, our atmosphere swelled, basically. And they're putting more drag on the satellites before they get up into their final position. There was a lot of drag on them, slowed them down, and they burned up coming back into the atmosphere. So that's how much it can affect what's happening. Of course, it can cause power outages and lots of other things. But anyway, from there, I just showed you the space weather one. Won't go to that. This is another page that I do visit once in a while, spaceweatherlive.com. They have a fair amount of information on that as well. It's updated quite regularly. There's your KP index, the oval that'll show you where this green area is where most of the activity is taking place. If we go from there to this is an app, one of the apps. Space Weather Live is another app that's able to be downloaded. I think this one's for free. The ones I'm showing you, I believe, are for free. Here's more data that is included in those apps. So these are just different pages throughout the app. Your KP index number, what it's predicted at being, current warnings, sunspot regions, and then a predicted KP indexes. So most of the apps do the same thing. Aurora Alerts is another one. This is one I use quite often, which shows you the data in just another form. Will show you though what you expect to see overhead and at the horizon. So those numbers will tell you that. The two numbers here, the BZ and the BT, are the most important ones. They're the ones that interact. Those are the numbers that we look at that tells us how much interaction it's having with our magnetosphere or magnetic field around our planet. And basically one of those numbers is the door that opens up that allows all the particles to come in. So those are the two that you pay attention to the most. Here is the actual KP index that I follow. There's the Aurora oval as well. That would tell you any area that's under green there would be the best opportunity to see Aurora, and that's updated constantly. So that's just another app. A third app would be My Aurora Forecasts and Alerts. That's another one that's available. These are all available on Google Play. You can see that they're for free. You can pay a few dollars to get more information, but it's not really necessary. This is another one that's My Aurora Forecast, so it'll tell you a little bit more information. There's the actual Aurora oval, and the viewing probability in your area, like whether or not you can get an opportunity to see it in your area or not, is there as well. And Aurora Labs Aurora Forecast is another one that I use fairly often. And the same thing, same information, but just displayed in a different format. Cloud coverage is kind of important, so that's a good one to put in. Anyway, that's about all I have on that. And let me stop sharing. There. So there's lots of apps out there. I guess the bottom line is a lot of the apps are on Google Play. They're for free. You can use the free apps to get all the information that you require, and just make sure that you check those apps before you go out, and especially that one from NOAA Space Weather, NOAA Space Weather. Go there first, and you can see the oval. Actually, they'll have a time plot basically showing the oval moving around the planet, and it'll show you how close you are to your area, like whether or not you're getting an opportunity at all. So,
and on top of that, not only do you get the alerts and stuff and you go, great, there's going to be aurora over my backyard. It's best to get out of the city and get out of the lights. Go to a dark spot.
Yeah.
Right, where the horizon is dark, anywhere from west across the north to the east. So don't go to the south of the city and look north. You want to go north of the city. Right, so that those lights are behind you, because the aurora will come down, obviously in the northern hemisphere. It'll come down from the north.
Yeah, if you're looking the other way, you're going to be seeing city glow, and you might be thinking you're looking at the aurora.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
As it was when we went out, we thought we were looking at city glow, and it was the aurora.
Put the city glow behind you. Get a spot where you can be high enough that you can get a good view of the horizon.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll just see it at the horizon. You won't see it up above your head.
Yeah.
Don't look at your phone. Leave your phone alone unless you're taking the photo. Even there, set it on a tripod if you can to take photos, but just watch the display. Like Kurt always told us about, solar eclipses. There'd be a million pictures of the solar eclipse, but you'll only get a chance to see it with your eyeballs once.
Yeah.
Kurt is actually on here tonight. He said Aurora was the Roman goddess of the dawn. So there we go.
There you go.
Oh, Aurora.
So,
all right. Well, I'm gonna show a picture of where the three of us were. Did you guys? You guys got, either you two got the picture that Tom Wraithby?
Yeah, I got it up. You want me to show it quickly?
Yeah, let's show that one first, and then we'll
All right.
some other ones.
This is a funny story in itself, with the three of us out there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we see this light coming through the woods, and somebody mentioned, that could be Tom. And all of a sudden it is Tom.
Well, the funny thing was, when he was coming through, we didn't know it was him.
Right.
So Michael said, "Get that light turned down."
Yeah.
He didn't know it was just a bonehead coming through to have a bottle of wine or what. And it turned out to be Tom.
So yeah, there's a shot that Tom took of the three of us standing in front of basically the overlooking the lake with the aurora going on above our heads.
Yeah.
So, just amazing.
Very thankful to Tom for that. Thank you, Tom.
And that was early in the evening before it got intense. I mean,
yeah.
It really got intense that night.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll show you some intense stuff. All right. So I'm going to show the picture. But while we're looking at the picture, maybe we'll talk a little bit about what was actually like being there. and which to me was a whole lot more important than taking the picture. The picture is more of a documentary that we were there, but being there and seeing what we saw with our naked eye, everything you see in that image, the red and the greens and all that stuff, that all look the same color to us, just different shades of brightness.
Yeah.
And so those bands that you see, the really strong bands, they were extremely brighter lights, almost like somebody had, like a bunch of spotlights and they were all sort of shooting them all at the same time. So that's kind of the illusion that it was like. So when you take a picture of that, it only took, I don't know what exposure length you were using, Mike, but I was using 15 seconds.
Yeah, I was running 13 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to shoot a picture like this, it's really quite simple. You just need a DSLR, a wide angle lens, and a tripod. That's all you need. And a remote shutter would be nice, or use the timer on your camera, self timer. And you just set up your lens so that I don't know what you were using, Mike, but I was using between 1600 and 3200
ISO. Yeah, I was shooting at 12.
Yeah. So it depends on what what your lens is and so on and so forth. My lens was an f2.8. So again, you want to get that number as low. But typically, if it's a wide angle lens, it's going to be a pretty wide aperture anyway. So you just pop it on your tripod. Just make sure that you get your tripod or your camera, find the brightest thing in the sky and use your 5 times and then 10 times blow up zoom so that you can find a star, focus on it, get it as tight as possible. Once you get it as tight as possible, and then make sure that your lens is in manual. If you have a lens that has image stabilization, turn it off, and then you're all set. Once you got that all focused up, then you're good for the night. Make sure that it's in manual. Don't touch your lens. In fact, what a lot of people recommend is once you've got a good focus, take a piece of tape and tape your lens down. And that way there, if you bump it in the dark, you won't knock it out of focus. Because once you start shooting and you're looking at these little screens in the back of your camera, you really can't tell how focused you are until you kind of get it home, put it on a bigger screen. So yeah, that's pretty much the settings, really. So
I could suggest one more thing: bring an extra battery for your camera too, because I was shooting so many shots, my battery ran out and I had to replace it. Thank God I had another one with me.
Yes, and find something with some interesting foreground.
Yes.
You can shoot straight across that. We could have shot straight across the lake with just the little mountain back there, and that would have been it. But I wanted something in my foreground, so I just decided to put some trees and that kind of stuff in it, just to make it a little bit more interesting, because there was enough light there and there was no leaves on the trees yet, so all the light's still going to come through, and it just makes for an interesting kind of a foreground, which is kind of nice. So that's kind of what the thought process, I guess, that went into what we were doing. There's different white balances you can set, but if you're shooting raw, it doesn't matter, because once you get back into your camera, you can put it to wherever you want. But typically, like what I don't know if Mike mentioned it or not, but the different colors that you get, that you see in this picture, are basically different levels of the Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
So the lower levels that you see just over the mountain and the shining on the lake are typically a greenish kind of a color. And then as they get higher, they get into sort of a bluish and then into the reddish, pinkish. And I think, Mike, you said it's like
rainbow.
Yeah, like a rainbow.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. But there are different chemicals in different layers of the Earth's atmosphere that are activated depending on the strength of the aurora and how much it's covering of the sky. And that's why you'll see in this image different colors. Because I was asked a number of times, well, what kind of filter did you use to get those? And there's no filter whatsoever. It was just the lens, turn the camera on, press the button,
take a shot. Yeah.
That was all there was to it. When I came back home, took it off the camera. I think Chris actually said, man, your pictures are nice and red right off the camera. We didn't do anything to it. That's just the way it came right on the camera. Yeah. So there's like very, very, very little processing on there. The only processing I would have done would have been my contrast, so that I could get the whiter parts, the brighter parts, as bright as they look to me. And once you've got that done, then you can actually see the streaks the way that you see them on this particular image. And but the thing about this was the image was kind of cool. I'll show you one more, but it's not really what the night was all about, at least not for me. And I haven't had this much excitement under the night sky probably since I got my telescope. There's another one. So what was interesting about this, and I'll let the other guys chime in, but what was interesting about this to me was as soon as I hit the trigger on the camera, the shutter release, let it go, I would just watch the sky. And it was, I can't put it in words, but it was unbelievable how the light that is being, if you remember Mike's illustration, how the solar mass ejection is coming towards us in this huge wave. And as it hits our magnetic atmosphere, it kind of goes up and follows up and continues on around Earth. You could actually see that happening. And it was going in these waves about every couple of fractions of a second. And the waves were like so intense by times. Like when we look at this image here, you can see that there's not as much intensity in these streaks as there was in the previous image. See if I can put that on there. I don't know if I can. No, that's not it. But anyway, in this image.
Oh, Aurora.
Yeah. But in this image, but this is what would happen. So if you're watching an aurora, it's going to have waves of intensity, and then it's going to back off for a while. It's going to have waves of intensity. Yeah. So you can't go out, shoot it in 10 minutes and go home and say, I got it. Because if we had done that, we wouldn't have gotten near what we saw.
No.
So these things we were out there, we get there around 10 o'clock, and we didn't leave till it was between 1 and 2.
Oh, at least, yeah.
It was after 1 o'clock when it really got intense.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It just picked up immensely.
It was unbelievable.
To me, it looked like it was like a fog rolling in, like a really fast fog rolling in.
Well, here, if I can just share my screen for a second, Paul.
Yep.
When we were out there, I took a couple of mono shots, and that gives you an idea of what you're actually going to see when you look at the mono shot. Because it's basically, this is what you're seeing, the black, the night sky, and then all this ribbons of stuff dancing around in front of you. That's really kind of white. And then those big spikes going up. So this is what you would see with your eyes, minus a little bit of color from the sky, other than the sky being, black or gray.
It would have a slight tint of green.
Yeah, just ever so small. But I mean, these bands were just rivetingly jumping around our heads like you'd never seen.
Yeah.
And then you look at your photographs, of course, in color, and your jaw just drops. And you go, wow, man, that is an awesome sight. There was a couple of times, because I wasn't using an infothermometer or anything like that, I was doing this to try to hit the button on the camera, but I didn't want to look at the camera because I was afraid to take my eyes off the sky.
I remember Chris was switching over from his cell phone trying to get his DSLR going. And while he was fighting that battle, I was.
Oh, you got lots of pictures. I'll get some.
I was screaming like a schoolboy.
Oh yeah. I went to get a battery and I could hear you too. I think if there's any wildlife in the woods, it's gone now.
Yeah, it was quite an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's going to come again. There's, the odds of it happening here again, they're pretty slim, but it can happen. And all we need is the right conditions. And we're still a couple of years away from maximum. So we still have a lot of solar activity coming our way. There's some big sunspots just this week passing by. And they passed by, I guess, but every couple of days you're seeing something large coming around again. And we just need the right conditions, and it will happen again.
For it to be super intense and like take out the power grid or something like that, and then we're set back to the 1800s for a while until they get the power grid up and running again.
That wouldn't be a bad thing. We wouldn't have to drive to a dark sky site because it'd be.
Well, that's true.
The thing is, it's we talk. Elon Musk lost some satellites out of it. Some satellites had to shut down because of that recent activity and stuff. They went into safe mode. But if you did get a bump there was a bump in 1989 in Quebec, right? That took out the province there for a couple of days. I think it was altogether. Not talking about the 1800 one from the Carrington event that set the telephone poles on fire, telegraph poles, but we had the right conditions. And so say it did take out a province or take down a part of the country. Power companies don't have these massive transformers sitting on the shelf somewhere.
No.
You've got to build them, right? So, in our day today of trying to order parts for equipment is just, it's 12 weeks, 14 weeks out. So if you could imagine having to get a large transformer or many of them, multi transformers from a source, and you could actually be knocked back to the 1900, right? Yeah.
A whole different kind of horsepower.
Yeah.
So I guess that sum up all of what we're talked about. If you're ever going to have this kind of Aurora activity again, sure, go out and take a camera and document it if you want to, but standing out there and watching this happen, it was surreal for me.
Yeah.
It was like I was a child with astronomy again, because I was seeing something that you just don't see that often, and just to see physically what we talk about a lot that we can only see through either pictures or whatever, but to physically see this movement and this interaction with the sun and the earth, it was just unreal.
I didn't know you and I could do the river dance, Paul, but I guess we did.
I think we did.
Well, you were close to the water. But another thing, while we were watching this guy, I mean, we must have seen 5 or 6 fireballs go across.
Right, I forgot.
Never had the cameras pointed at him, but we were so excited to watch the sky. We got a chance to watch these fireballs going.
Yeah,
It was unbelievable.
I keep forgetting about those. That's how much this influenced.
Yeah.
We've never seen fireballs quite like that either.
No, it didn't seem like we have anyway.
No.
Dan Garrett says, "Are we entering a solar maximum? Aren't we entering solar maximum phase? We are.
We are. Yeah.
Re-entering it now, but we expect it's not going to arrive until 2025.
And that's the peak. It still has to taper down. So the activity on the other side is going to be just as intense as it backs down.
That's
right.
Right.
So the thing is the thing that we lucked out with was the rarity of being pointed directly at the Earth when that ejection was shot out, because most of it's through shooting different directions.
And we had the right cycle moon too. We only had a couple of day old moon, right? So the moon set early, so it gave us a nicer sky.
Yeah.
We had a clear sky, which is pretty odd too. So
yeah, it was a rare event for us.
But
it really was.
Guaranteed it's going to happen again. We're going to get more opportunities, I'm sure. And even if you get a G5 or even if you get a KP of 5 or 6, and if you're far enough north, and if you're up around Bathurst or Hamilton, I'd be going up on a KP5 because you still get something at the horizon, right?
You know what was funny about this too? I just thought of this. The moon and Venus were going down at the same time. Yeah. And it's like such a non-event to us. It was like, so what?
Yeah.
Exactly. They were close together.
That would have been Chris's live feed for the month right there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
No cell coverage, though. That was a problem.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. That was an awesome evening. I hope everybody on here gets a chance to experience that as well. I hope you all get a chance to experience it. And Brad says, seeing it to the degree you described, naked eye, and then seeing that first photo pop up on the back of the camera never gets old. Yeah, I bet.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
We were kids in the biggest possible candy store you could think of.
Yes. And the conditions were so perfect.
Yeah.
We had, basically, the moon was just going down, so that wasn't a factor, and the weather was perfect.
Yeah, the clouds held off. Yeah.
We started to get a little murky, then we thought, oh, maybe, and then all of a sudden, gone. And
I opened up. Yeah.
Yeah.
They say the best things in life are free, and they really are like that.
Absolutely.
It's completely free display. So. Yeah. Derek says, I remember so many auroras happened when I was a kid. Must have been during a solar maximum period, but I remember it was winter and several times the sky was full, north to south, with incredible colors and the lights just dancing. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think back in right around 98 to 2000, somewhere in that period, we had a really strong showing. So I don't know how old he was or the years that he was a kid. But
Yeah.
I talked to a few people, and they tend to remember that time frame from Aurora, similar to this.
Yeah, right on.
Audrey says we were out taking photos. She said until 2 a.m. It was an experience I'll never forget. So there you go. So yeah, there's a lot of people that did get the chance to experience it. Let's hope we get another display real soon. And even if it is a full moon night, then it's still worth going out.
Oh yeah.
Just put the moon to your back because that's where it's going to be anyway. So great. And I got some photos to show here later because I had a lot of people that sent in captures a lot. So I couldn't take a whole big section and talk about each one individually. So I put them a little bit in a little short video that we're going to show here in a little bit. October the 30th, 2003, Kurt says. Boy, it's good to have him online for reference.
It is, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
He probably has it marked on a calendar somewhere.
He's got it in a logbook because he keeps.
Oh yeah.
He's good. Yeah. Kurt's log, start date. He's got it all.
Personal log. Okay, let's go from there to how would a Bino Bud next?
Bino Bud. You got to be here somewhere. He should be coming up in front of us.
There he is.
Gotta add the Tim Hortons Cup.
I love that picture, man.
Alrighty. Binocular target of the week this week by Bino Bud is dun, 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 Messier 67 or the Golden Eye Cluster. So I call it 0067. Alrighty. Messier 67, and it's got a lot of names, also known as NGC 2682 or the Golden Eye Cluster or the Pac-Man Cluster or even the King Cobra Cluster. So, I mean, it's obviously going to be visible. It's an open cluster in the southern equatorial half of Cancer. Estimates of its age range between 3.2 billion and 5 billion years. Distance estimates likewise are varied, but typically are 800 to 900 parsecs, if that means anybody anything. How do I find it in the sky? Well, if you were to go out tonight and it was clear at 10 o'clock and orient yourself at 230 degrees to the southwest and look up, you'll see Castor and Pollux and Gemini. Draw a straight line down from those two, and guess what? It's going to take you right to M67. You might accidentally bump across the beehive, M44, on your way through, but you just keep on coming down and you'll find M67. It'll be in your field of view, no question at all. And again, a closer look, there's Cancer, there's M44, the beehive, M67, right in here. So what will it look like? Well, you're not going to actually see this, but it is a beautiful photograph of it. You'd swear it was a globular cluster, but it's an open cluster. And it's real easy to see against the background sky. It is bright. This is what you will see in 10 by 50 binoculars, though. The Golden Eye Cluster is right in here. So compared to the full moon, the whole cluster is probably about, maybe half the size of the full moon, but you will see it. It's pretty easy to spot. And mine's a refractor. And that's binocular target of the week by Bino Bud.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, where are we going from there? I guess it's Rosanna's fun fact next.
Yeah, just one sec here.
Okay.
Making sure I've got.
Careful. We'll get kicked off.
Might as well jump.
Okay, let me just get things up and going here. I've got a whole bunch of screens open. See if I can't pull this off. All right, get that over there. Perfect. And this is this week's
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
Hey, welcome back, Rosanna, for another great week, for another great fun fact. So let's see if I can't find that and see if I can't get into this. Okay, so Rosanna writes, hi, Paul, to have...
We're not sharing.
What's that?
We're not sharing. I see you.
Oh, I'm not sharing?
Not yet.
Let me share my screen. We'll try that again.
I could have let you go all the way through and then tell you
That's
about
okay, I would have.
There she is.
She back?
He's back.
Okay, good. So, okay, so let's go. So she says to have Aurora's start Astronomy Week was beyond fabulous. The pics on Facebook have been wowing New Brunswickers and have inspired quite a few people to reach out and find out more about the club and astronomy in general. My daughter sent a message inquiring if the Aurora pics would make it into your next calendar. Hint, hint. We'll see. It's hard to compete with auroras for beautiful pics, so this week I'm going to go with odd and surprising pics that have been lurking in my open tabs on my laptop. Take a look at this amazing photo by the United Arab Emirates Agency's Hope Mars mission. Now, this is Mars moon Deimos. It is so small, it has such low gravity that if you stood on its surface and jumped, you could actually achieve escape velocity and leave the moon forever.
Wow.
I'm not yeah, crazy, eh? I'm not sure where you would go except up, 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 and away. Even a jump from the larger Phobos would have the same result. Now, this is the quick audio separately for the pictures that you're about to see. Now, let me see if I can make that happen, number one. I think we all know that one, don't we? Up in a second. Wrong one. In a second, I gotta find where it went. It's gonna go on now forever because I can't find it.
Wasn't so dramatic now, Paul.
Next slide.
Oh, I can't find it. But I like it. It's a good tune.
Like two, though.
You just give me a minute, I'll find it. Golly, Miss Molly. I can't find it. That's all. On a loop. That's why,
Oh my goodness.
that's why I don't play them. I normally don't play these.
That's this week's.
Yeah, that's it. I can't find it. I don't know where it is.
Must be this guy.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
And we're live. And we're live.
There, I think I found it. All right. Oh, I didn't. There it is.
Okay.
There, I found it this time. All right. Okay.
Where is it?
Oh my good God, that was quite an experience. I want to jump off the planet now. All right, so getting back to where we were. So this is, okay, so we already saw the Mars moon. Okay,
There we go.
Phobos Mars moon. 150-pound human would weigh just 2 ounces, 56
Wow.
grams. Can you imagine?
Wow.
So,
That'd be at least 4 pounds.
so don't jump. There's not enough gravity. Going, gone. The Planetary Society's Wow of the Week is the new Dragonfly quadcopter. And we are all familiar with Ingenuity, currently the only interplanetary copter. Ingenuity is about the same size as the small drones that you see people flying around in their backyards. The new Dragonfly quadcopter, which NASA plans to send to the Saturnian moon Titan in 2034, is much larger. Due to Titan's low gravity and the extremely dense atmosphere, flying there is much easier than it is on most other worlds. It really begs to have some bug eyes painted on it. Now, on to even odder things. Can anyone guess where or what this spacey photo is? Idea?
The delicious nebula.
It's the chocolatiest. I don't know. This is actually on Earth and was taken by a satellite in February. It's being called the face of climate change as people seeing a grinning skull in it. It is the reducing ice of Antarctica's Vega Island.
Wow.
Wow. So how about this one?
Somebody's
is.
roasting a marshmallow over a volcano.
Yeah, looks like it, doesn't it? I don't know where I got that order, but I guess I missed one image. Let me see. Just hang on a sec. I don't know if I can pop this one in. Save image as. We'll pop him in as number 10. Okay, let's just see if that went in there. Just give me 1 second. And yeah, there it is. Okay, so how about this one? It is a blemish on a specialized filter shot on Venus. That right there.
Not a UFO?
Not a UFO,
A UFE.
a UFE. All right, so we were back here on this one. Okay, surprise, or maybe no surprise. What's 1 sec here? I think something's in my way of. I can't read my thing. There we go. This is Darvaza crater in Turkmenistan, on fire for 50 years now. It has become a bit of a trendy, if really out there, sort of tourist spot. So that's what they're doing. They're actually toasting marshmallows on this. Yes,
Wow.
This is marshmallow on the end of a stick. Wow. And last, check this out. So it is a fabricated bubble shot. No, this is really in space. This is a pulsar speeding through space that's spinning at 8.7 times a second. Scientists using NASA's Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope and the Very Large Array in New Mexico picked up on the intense radio waves coming from this high energy object called PSR J222 plus 6216 in the constellation Cassiopeia. The image shows the ghost bubble from a supernova remnant, and on the left you'll notice a long streak of light. That is the tail left by this pulsar as it shoots across the great beyond at 2.5 million miles per hour.
Wow.
That is fast. So this whole week and the weekend has had remarkable wow moments. Hopefully, maybe even a roasted marshmallow or two while sitting around a campfire watching the stars come out. Make mine chocolated, please. And that is this week's
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
Well, thank you so much, Rosanna, for the wonderful fun fact and my Van Halen moment. It was fantastic.
That was a tasty treat.
Makes me want to jump.
Awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Very
Thank you.
nice. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. From there.
What are you jumping to, Chris?
Hmm?
What are you jumping to?
Wah, wah. Let me see. What are we jumping to? I'm gonna
It
jump.
was almost like when you have your moments when you can't find things or get things going.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah, I can feel for you now.
Yeah, I get them. Yeah, we usually get them before we go online though, but it's not all the time. Okay, let me see if I can bring up. I think I'm gonna try to share a few photos. I just got a few here first, then I'm gonna go into a short little video of the ones that were shared with me. Yeah, bring us over to the right screen. And where's your guitar, Paul? Oh,
Do you want that jump song back on? Jumping to the next segment. Bum, 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 bum.
almost there. Open with. Okay, there, that's better. Okay, I'm going to start off with showing them first of all. We're in screen number 1. This one. No, screen 1. This one. There we go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, Capture the Thin Crescent Moon there by Tim Libby. Tim set this one in for us. Few day old moon, and then even a finer day, few day old moon over here. Very thin.
That is.
1%.
Wow.
1%. Nicely done.
Very nice.
Thanks, Tim. Now, I'm going to show just a couple more here, and I haven't got the notes with them, but I know that these were coming in from, this one came in from Brad Perry with some star trails.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Nice, huh? He said, I think he said he's waiting for the Aurora, so he tried some star trails while
Nice
waiting.
job.
Very nice. And here's one of his Aurora shots.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it'll never get old.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks, Brad. And Trudy sent this one in of Venus and the Moon together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice capture. Really done well this week. Thanks, Trudy. Mr. Powell,
Oh, that was last night
last night, yeah.
Shot.
before it clouded over.
Lots of
Nice
detail.
detail, Mike.
Love this mountain
Even a
range.
straight wall in there, believe it or not.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it right there.
Right in there.
Yeah.
No,
No,
you're right.
higher up, higher up. No, the other way. Right there. No, you were almost on it. Go to
Lower.
your right.
Right there. No, right
Nope.
there. Here we go.
There
Yeah,
you go. The
yeah,
sword
yeah.
in
I was
space.
going over here to the corner. I know. Yeah, there we are.
It's 100-mile fall.
Back
That's
to the drunken snowman.
On a slim slope.
That's a drunken snowman to me. He's upside down, but he's a drunken snowman kind of bent over the top. So I look for him and then find the straight wall. Anyway.
That's nice detail, Mike. That's
Thanks,
fantastic.
Oh, thank you. That
Well
was a
done.
good shot.
Really nice.
I got lucky
There's this sunshot from today.
yesterday.
Yeah, that's when I was.
In the sun yesterday, there's a bit of cloud on the top of the picture coming
Yeah.
through because it was a little hazy, but I was
Yeah.
surprised to get that detail through the haze.
Yes.
Which that's a lot of activity, eh?
It
Yeah,
is.
it is. It's crazy. I'll show you some
I mean, you
activity.
think some of those smaller spots are the size of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big those big ones are. It's
Well,
incredible.
you need 108ers to go across apparently this with
Yeah.
the sun.
Unbelievable.
And Kathy's.
Kathy's shot. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Day moon.
Nice done, Kathy. Look at these ones here from Mr. Gadet though. He's
Yeah.
getting
Just incredible shots he's getting.
Yeah.
there's some
getting
detail
some-
for you.
Magnificent detail. I was taken back by that rift up on the top right. And
Oh, here, yeah.
yeah, just coming down. It's incredible.
Filament. That's beautiful.
Amazing. Well done. There's this full sun shot.
Very
Great
nice.
job, Robert. You're doing some fantastic work there.
He is.
Yep, it's looking really good.
I guess, of course, you guys get already shown that one there from our
Yeah.
little.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim.
Mr. T.
I'm going to show this one just because it is where I want you to send your pics anyway to this address. I've been getting a number of them this week. So astronomybythebay@gmail.com. From there, I'm going to try to go to a video if I can bring it up. No, I'm not going to go to that one. Hang on 1 second.
That was a depressing forecast for this week.
There it is.
Looks so good,
It
didn't it?
is. Let me see if I can bring this one up here. See where it comes up first of all. Okay, I'm in the wrong window, so let me pause it. Now bring it back to the first. I'm gonna bring it over to this window, I think. It won't let me move it. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. Hang on. Share again.
You guys remember Tim's comment there when he took that shot of the three of us? Like, will you get out of the way so I can get the Aurora?
This is Trudy's capture from
Oh, she did.
the outskirts of St. Martin's.
Nice.
Yes. The time lapse. Very nice.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of what it looks like, isn't it?
Right
Yeah.
there, pretty wild there around midnight, eh? So
Wow, that's pretty nice.
she's a great
Oh,
job.
the clouds came in. Oh, no.
Well, thanks, Trudy.
Well done.
Okay, there I want to go to a video that I've got that I put together. We got opened up here first of all. Try this one, I think. See where it goes. I don't know where it went. Where'd it go? Oh, hang on. Okay. Let's wait a second.
Then there was the jump.
Yeah.
All the way off.
No, I gotta do it this way. Come on.
I
Okay,
wish I had a guitar now.
share sound. And I'm gonna turn my volume up just a little bit. And I think we're gonna be back on the screen here when it opens up, so just bear with me. So yeah, I did some captures of or some folks that sent me in images anyway. See if I can open it back up again.
There you go.
Hear that okay?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. There.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Well, we got a lot of people out there taking shots. So it's an incredible event. How could you not?
That's it. Yeah.
You know, we often say open your eyes to view the skies. That's why. You watch
That's
an
it.
event like that.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for sending those in. It was awesome to see those. Great that so many people got a chance to see it. One last one I would share, was let me share the screen again. And I think I can drag this one over. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So what's up this week? No, what's up this week?
There's that Funding Nebula.
Yeah, when I looked at the calendar, it was pretty clear that nothing was really going to be happening. So I decided I wouldn't bother doing a what's up talk this week. Friday night is a full moon, and I think there's a part meteor shower next week. But other than that, we're not going to bother. So we'll do a talk next week. Better plans.
Well, we're going to get those showers, right?
That's it. That's right.
Time to get into radio astronomy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we're going to get into our closing then. All right.
Oh,
Well,
you know what, though? You know what? Before you close up,
Yeah.
for all those astro images out there who are in fact taking calibration frames, now's the time to do it.
right.
Yeah.
Those crappy skies. Now you can clean up all the garbage you had and start getting your calibration frames ready for the next clear skies that we have. There you go.
Okay, well, I guess that's our show for tonight. Sorry we were a little bit late getting started, but I'm glad we were able to make it anyway. So then I'm closing in tonight. Thanks again for all of your support. Of course, our special thanks as always to Rosanna for her wonderful fun facts. Rosanna, it's you wouldn't be the team without you.
That's right. That's right.
We thank you very much. Also, special thanks goes out to Trudy and all of those who continually share our program. Also hope that those of you who have joined us from Rogers enjoyed the program tonight. If you would like more information about the wonders of the night sky, you can contact me at astronomybythebay.ca. Remember too that we do love getting your photos, so send them into astronomybythebay@gmail.com, and we'd be happy to include them on our next broadcast. And please let your friends and family know that we will be back here next Sunday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook to edutain you on astronomy and the wonders of the night sky. So for now then, from Mike and Paul and myself, wish you all a safe week, everybody. Unfortunately, cloudy skies, but we wish you were having clear skies. And as we like to say, open your eyes to view the skies and keep your scopes pointed up.
Yeah.
Good night.